Hello, and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson from Bona Training.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, bud?
It's going great. What are we going to talk about today, Rob?
Hey, what'd you do for Easter?
I went fishing on Saturday. Holy smokes, did I find them.
Did you?
Yep, I did. And it was not what I thought I was going to do when I got there. Completely different. So it wasn't until about 11 o'clock. So the first 5 hours or so, they weren't where I thought they were going to be, but then I found them and I had a great day. Yep.
Alone?
Yeah, always.
I thought you fished with the old guy. No?
Well, that's a different type of fishing. That's if I'm bass fishing, I'm bass fishing by myself, unless I'm at this guy's farm pond, because usually I trout fish with him, but he has a hookup with 3 great farm ponds. But so if I'm in my boat, I'm by myself. In fact, I just told Judy yesterday as we were going for a walk, I'm going to take the back seat out of my boat. Just gets in the way. I don't need it anyhow. Like there, so.
Don't. You sure you don't want to leave that in? That sounds kind of sad.
It does when I say it out loud, huh?
Yeah. What do I need another seat for? I don't
Yeah.
like anybody.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends.
Gilbert O'Sullivan, Alone Again, Naturally. Do you know the song?
Alone again, naturally. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to say 1973. I'm going to Google that. I love that song. I was in Michigan at the time, up in Peninsula, Michigan, living there.
I love that song.
It's a great song.
It's kind of a sad song. 73?
Yeah,
Might be a little early. I'm thinking 75.
It was released in 1972. I said 73, and I almost said 72.
72.
Yep, that's good knowledge right there.
I was impressed that you knew the guy's name.
I really did like the song. Really did. He's an Irish singer songwriter. It's a damn good song. Like it's a song you might hear once every 2 years.
You know what? That should be the name of your boat. Alone Again.
Alone Again.
That's a good boat name for you.
It is, yeah. No, I don't feel sorry for me. I love it. I love the alone time.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, you can feel sorry for me, but not because of that.
No way.
All right.
So that was Saturday.
That was Saturday. Sunday, we had dinner with a bunch of friends on a farm out in East Tennessee. The house was built before the Civil War, had 225 acres, and a Civil War battle was fought on the farm.
Whoa.
Isn't that something? The house is like 5,500 square feet mansion. I mean, well, I don't know mansion, but it was fabulous house. Still standing, just amazing.
Like a plantation house.
Yeah, it was more like a farmhouse. I don't know what you would call it, but it was a pre-Civil War. But you always think about when I was standing on that porch, I thought, man, if you could close your eyes and look back and see, the people back then, what they were wearing, and the watching the battle and rage on, and that, what it must have been like. So
cool.
Yeah,
very good.
I'd ask you what you did, but
yeah, you know the deal. Family.
Yeah. No, it's
Easter candy.
Yeah, nice.
My sister-in-law's house. She put on a huge spread. It was great.
Very nice. Well, it's not about that anyhow. It's about the reason for the season, right? So, yeah, it was very nice. Okay. And what are we talking about today, Rob?
Today, we're going to talk about following up with your customers.
Fantastic.
You like that idea?
Yeah, pretty good.
Worst thing that I did. I didn't do it. I know I've said it 1,000 times on the show, but I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, and this was the absolute biggest one. All those floors that Peter and I did, we never stayed in touch with anybody. We never did follow-up. Nothing, ever.
You know what? You are in the majority in this business. This is an unusual business, the flooring business. It is one of the only businesses I can think of that's like that, because I didn't either. I didn't follow up with anybody. And tell me the reason why you didn't follow up with anybody.
I have no reason. Stupidity. That's the only reason I can come up with.
Yeah. I would love to have been your third grade teacher. I feel like that answer would have been plugged into a lot of different questions thrown your way. I have no answer about my
I have
homework.
no answer for that one. I'm stupid.
Stupid. I didn't know. I was watching
What do you
the
want?
monkeys. The monkeys were on.
I don't know. I guess maybe I just didn't think I had to. Honest to God, it never crossed my mind.
Okay.
It never crossed my mind at all.
I'm going to tell you the reason why I bet a lot of people don't in our industry, which is unique to our industry, I think, that a lot of people don't stay in touch with their customers and follow up with their customers because they're afraid of what they might hear. Because usually in our business, if your customer calls you, usually it's probably not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, your customer's not going to call you 9 months later and go, I mean, believe me, it happens to some people. But a lot of times the customer's not going to call up, goes, guys, I was sitting here looking at my floor. I just want to call you one more time and just tell you, man, it looks just fantastic. You know, that probably not going to be the reason why they're calling you. They might.
And I am opposite of that. I'm a show off. Every job I walked out of, I was like, man, we nailed that job. These people are going to love it. I would never, not that would have been the last reason that I would have ever thought that somebody is going to say something bad. How could you? It was me. It was our job. No way.
I bet you most floor people, if the phone rings 6 months, 9 months, a year and a half after the floor was done, and they see that number come up, and that customer calls, say, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I bet you 99% of the people think it's a problem.
Wow.
Think I'm
Well,
wrong?
yeah, no, definitely. If they're calling you,
What, me
Yeah.
personally?
no, that's never happened to you. That's never happened to you.
Hell, it hasn't.
No, but I'm exact opposite. You don't golf much, do you? You're not a golfer.
No, I'm not a golfer. No.
Okay. You have golf though, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. You've been in
Yeah.
scrambles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I got a buddy, Bill Kennedy, that I golf with. And him and I are exact opposite. If there's a big group on the tee, a bunch of guys and everybody's like, oh yeah, I hate when everybody's watching me and I get all, not Bill and I.
Yeah.
We'll get up and the more I want more people looking at me. I know that's going to be my best shot of the day. I'll go up there and go, everybody get your cameras ready. Here we go. I'm a show off. Show off. And then I'll hit it in the woods or something like that. But that didn't matter so I would never think that, no, I'm not going to call somebody and follow up because they might be unhappy with the job. How could they be? I did the job. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a different mindset with that.
So let's interesting. Let's talk about why it's important to follow up with a customer, and you can kind of dive into that.
You sure? Or you just want to talk golf?
No. We can do golf along the way if you like.
Okay. Shows you care. Following up with the customer shows you care. Doing all the classes, I've said this 100 times. I like talking about what other people are doing for follow-ups during the class. Did you just fall asleep?
No, I'm looking for something just in case I need it.
Because the bell? Oh, okay. You got to have it always right here, ready to go. One of the reasons too that I bring this up during the training is I know that there's lots of guys out there like you and I. And I'll kind of bring that up, during discussion about, hey, what are you guys doing for follow-ups, or how are you building that lifetime customer? And usually there's one or two guys that have some pretty neat cool little tricks that they do. And I know that opens up a lot of people's eyes because, I'm the first one to tell everybody, boy, that was the biggest mistake I made as a contractor, was not keeping track of these people, not doing follow-ups with them, not trying to create that lifetime customer. So that's why I think the follow-up with a customer is so important.
I also, I don't know. Like, I did the job and I'm done with the job, and that's it for me. I was the same way. I felt like I did my job, and that's our relationship. Yes, you want referrals, and we lived off our referrals, what have you. But I'm not like your best friend now. You know what I mean? I got other stuff. I got other jobs to go to. You know what I mean? So I never.
I'm not your best friend. I don't
Yeah.
need a back seat to my boat anymore. You're not going to go fishing with me.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things too. I got this thing off of Indeed. So on number 12, the last one, this is definitely something you wouldn't do. Invite them to an event.
Oh God, no.
No, you're not going to go fishing with me. Don't even think about it. I'll talk fishing with you, but you can't come.
No. Invite them to an event. Okay. Well. Let's look at this a different way. Um, if let's say I had a retail store, and I could absolutely, and some of your clients are designers or architects or something like that, or what have you. Yeah, I can 100% see inviting them to an event. It's a professional event, because now you have something to offer. You're going to show value or different things that are out there, or what the opportunities are with flooring, or educate them on things in the industry that they should know, maybe proper floor care, maybe do a CEU presentation by Bona, by the way.
Hey, Darsh, Bona, CEU
Yep.
guy.
Nobody better. So in that sense, I can see that, yes, but I'm not going to be like, well, you've probably been in this situation before, and I probably a lot of floor guys have heard this before. Gosh, we loved our house. Everybody's done such a great job. When the project is done, when our house is done, we're going to invite everybody in for a party. You ever heard that?
Yes.
How many times has it ever happened?
I don't know. I never got invited.
Okay.
There, you happy?
No, I'm not.
You happy? Huh?
Makes me sad, actually. I went to maybe 3 of them in my career, probably 12 times or so, 15 times. Someone said that was the case. Hey, when it's all done, we're gonna have a party for everybody. When it's done, there's no party usually. Everybody just wants to go on their way. Everybody's tired of each other. The homeowners want to go on. You want to go on, and I wasn't big into that anyhow. I did my job. I wanted you to be 100% thrilled to death with your floor. Love to have a referral, but I wasn't a touchy feely type of guy, and so that wasn't me.
I got to tell you a quick story. We did a job for a guy in town, and he had remodeled his house, and Pete and I did the floors. And we get invited to a party. He throws a party.
Mhm.
He rented a hall. There's like a brand new ambulance department in our town, or this was years ago, and they got a beautiful hall that they rent out for parties and stuff. It's awesome.
Mhm.
So he invites us to a party, and I said, "What's the party for?" And he's like, "It's for everybody who worked on the house." And I was like, "Oh, great." And the whole time I'm thinking, "Oh, that sucks. That's my birthday, But I liked the guy, and I knew people that were going to be there, so I'm like, "Oh, this will be a pretty good party, even though it's my birthday. But I'll go and have fun and probably get a couple of laughs out of that." My dad is in the hospital. He had a heart attack, so I go to visit him. Now,
Your
as soon
dad?
as I walk in, they're looking at me like, "What's your problem? What are you doing here?" And that's how they're like acting, And I'm like, "What?" My dad's in the hospital. I sit down, I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Well, you probably got to get going, right?" And I'm like, "Why are they shoving me out the door here? I don't get this." And then my mother says, "Don't you have a party this afternoon?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "But I go, I'll drop in whenever we're ready,
Yeah.
And she's like, "You gotta, this is so classic me. Don't get nothing ever. Never get anything." So finally, I'm like, all right, well, screw it. I'm out of here. Here thinking, what a nice son. I drive way over to the other side of the city, and gonna visit my dad in the hospital on a Saturday. You know, I had just pulled a coat and I thought I'll drop by, and they're pushing me out the door. So I get home and Pauline is freaking out, like, "What are you doing? We got to get going." I'm like, the party doesn't start till like 4 o'clock. What are we gonna be there at 4 o'clock for? And she's just furious that I'm not, jumping in the shower and everything. Finally, she comes in and she goes, "I got a call from his wife, this guy's wife, and they ran out of butter. We need to get butter, so you got to get going." So now I'm like pissed. All right, this is, get there, walk into the party, and I look over and I see a couple of my uncles from Florida.
Okay.
Right. And everybody's screaming surprise and everything. And I'm like, boy, they're really pumped up about this house, They're really pumped up. And I'm thinking, and finally, when the kids ran over and jumped on me and everything, then I was like, oh my God, this was
For you.
not a party for the people who worked on the house. This was surprise party. I'd like to apologize for everybody I was a real jerk to that day for.
That's very nice though.
That was a good one.
That is very nice.
That was a good party.
I've never had a surprise party. That might not surprise you. Look, when I die, I'm just trying to find enough guys to carry the casket. I got 3. I mean, you're coming, right?
Of course I'll be there.
Right, then I got 3.
Bum and I'll be there. Aaron, Cheeves, Jeff.
Yeah.
We'll get plenty of guys to carry you out.
All right, I'm not that heavy. But
man, I can't believe I've never had a surprise party. Well, that was the only one I ever had, and they're amazing. Maybe you should keep the seat in the back of the boat. Maybe don't get rid of it yet.
The closest I came to one, it was in Ireland when I think I was like 10 years old, and I had never had a birthday party before. Like, don't feel sorry for me. I'm fine. But it was just, I just had,
what was the name of the guy who did that song?
Alone Again, Gilbert O'Sullivan. He wrote it
Alone Again. Naturally.
No. So
no wonder it's your favorite song.
No, but it wasn't a big deal. We moved a lot. I had 3 brothers, so I was fine. But my mom, I guess, started feeling bad about it. And did I tell this story? Remember the deal? You got to stop me if I told the story.
I will stop you if I've heard the story in the last 6 months.
Okay. So we're in Ireland. We just moved to Ireland. Like, we're literally in a month, we moved to Ireland. And my mom, I must have told her that I never had a party before or whatever. So she rounded up the kids in the neighborhood, like maybe 5 or 6 or 8 kids, right? To come, they were about my age, and said, "Hey, come to have this party." That's not a party. You know what I mean? Why would you bring these losers to my, you know what I mean? All I'm looking at is that big piece of cake going to be split 12 ways now. It could have been split 4 ways. You know what I mean? And they don't know me from Adam. And as soon as the cake was gone, these guys beat it, which I was fine with that. I was fine. You know what I mean? That was the closest I got to a surprise party.
Did anybody bring you a gift?
Please send donations to wayne.highlander@bona.com.
At Alone Again, naturally.
Oh, no one brought a gift. Why? I wouldn't have brought me a gift. They didn't know me. Kids were poor anyhow.
How old are you?
Am I now?
Yeah.
61.
So can't do a 60th. Maybe 65.
No, I don't want to.
Maybe everybody should have one surprise party. Come on. Everybody should have one.
I'm good. I mean, that's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. No, I'm kidding. All right. Give me another reason to. I'm not buying you. I'm not in with you 100% so far.
You're not in with me on what?
On following up with your customers so far. You haven't got me yet.
I haven't got you yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
It improves the experience.
You didn't get enough of me for the 3 weeks I was here.
Okay, Mr. Negative. Or, wow, this guy really wants to make sure that I'm happy.
Okay.
All right. Still don't
Improves-
have you?
Well, I mean,
Here, this will get you. Here you go. This is the glasses half negative one. It
okay.
addresses any problems.
Still don't got me.
I didn't want to call you, but
Why do I want to go see problems?
okay. Well, this fourth one is going to crack you up. Okay.
Okay.
It it deepens the engagement. Look, I didn't write this. Okay. I just found it on Indeed.
Okay.
And I was kind of, I've been pushing this at the school. So I thought I might get some ideas here. Deepen the engagement. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that one,
Okay.
but I am crazy about the next one. Now,
Okay.
this is they're saying why it's important to follow up with customers.
Okay.
Now you got me on the final one here, boost sales.
There you go. Okay. Now
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I
now-
got you.
Now
Finally.
you got me. Okay.
Okay. It only took 5 to get you.
Okay. Well, you got to sell me.
I'm trying
And-
to.
Okay.
Right.
Well, now you got my attention. Boost sales.
Okay.
Now, before you go any further, so I really, in all seriousness, I really admire guys that think like this, because it's not in my nature. My feeling is, look, I gave you all I got. If I've done your floors, I gave you everything I got, blood, sweat, and tears, and that's enough. You know what I mean? And then I go on to the next one. And then if I love the referrals and what have you. If you've got a problem, I'll be back. No question. That's a different matter. But I didn't do a good job of staying in touch either, probably because we stayed busy quite a bit. But there are guys that are very creative about doing this, and customers do appreciate it. I'm sure and now actually more than ever. I also think this is a different generation. And it's kind of the mentality has changed a little bit. So I think this is more important than it was in the past with social media and all these different things. And there's more competition, and the more you get your name out there and all these different things. And you talked about Jeremiah Strong. I don't know if you're going to say this or not, but
All right. That follow-up went a little too far.
I thought that was a smart follow-up. Here's the reason why, because it was a follow-up that you didn't have to be too emotionally involved in. And the follow-up was this: Jeremiah would ask his customers show them a bunch of different magazines. Could be gardening, cooking, travel, leisure, all these different categories. Say, look, pick one or two that you like. And for like a year after that, every month, right at their house was a magazine that they picked out, and at the bottom in the corner, everybody went to the doctor's office. Probably when you get your prostate exam there, it would say, from so-and-so Jeremiah Strong or whatever. So every week, every month, it would show up and it's got his name on it. Just a reminder that he's doing, you know what I mean? That I thought was brilliant. I think that's I would do that because I wouldn't have to talk to anybody. You know what I mean?
No, when I say Jeremiah, I thought you were going to go with the different Jeremiah story.
I don't know the different Jeremiah.
Jeremiah did a job for a woman, and he couldn't stop thinking about her, and then started doing follow-ups on her and ended up marrying her. So that's why I was like, I think he took that follow-up a little too far, but he's a very happy man. But
yeah, well, that's like
when I do classes with him, that's his go-to story now. That's his opening when he introduces himself and telling everybody about the wood floor business and what it did with him. He said it found me my bride. So I always thought that cracked me up.
Yeah, and knowing his wife, that he did hit the jackpot. I mean, that's the best of all flooring stories that could possibly be. So, yes. All right, you got me on that one. Boosting sales. Okay, I'm getting warm now.
All right.
Give me another one.
All right. So now that first part was why it's important to follow up with a customer. Now they're saying how to follow up with the customer. All right. So now they've told you this is why we think it's important to do it. So here are some suggestions on how to do it.
Okay.
Now, when you said Jeremiah does that with the magazines, geez, I don't even think I don't think I heard that one.
Oh,
I like that. No,
Yeah.
I just
Okay,
said that, he was,
that's brilliant.
going after the woman there.
No, but that I think that's a very good way of
That's a
following up
good
with a
one.
customer. Yes.
Yeah, very
And you
good.
know what? He said it was also inexpensive. Didn't cost him a lot of money. So
Did I ever tell you about the plant guy in Toronto?
the what guy?
Plant guy.
Plank, P-L-A-N-K? K?
Plant,
Oh,
Plant,
oh
plant.
no, no.
So I'm up in Toronto a couple years ago doing a class up there, going around doing what are you doing for follow-ups? How are you keeping track of the customer? Guy raises his hand and he goes, I send all of my customers 2 weeks after the job is done a nice plant. And a guy in the class turns around and goes, oh my God, you're the plant guy? You're killing me. You're killing us. And we all had a good laugh about it, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And the plant guy was telling everybody, he goes, it's got to the point now where I've sent out so many plants and I've got so much work off of the plant and not so much my work. He goes, the work is good, but it's the plant that he goes, I'm doing estimates and women are like, am I going to get a plant? So-and-so got a plant. Do I
Mhm.
get a plant? Do I get to pick the plant? And he said, the other thing I thought he was pretty smart was plants are better than flowers because flowers eventually die out in, a week or whatever, where a plant, as long as they take care of it, going to live forever. And he has his card on there and everything. And I was like, that's a great one. And it's a
Uh,
thank you. And that's what this first one says on how to follow up. You express gratitude. You're saying, thank you for the work. Thank you for the job. So Jeremiah sends a magazine. The guy up in Toronto does the plant thing. You're expressing gratitude. People like that.
I like that. And we had a guest on one time, uh, Arbor Zen Hardwood Floors in North Carolina.
Yes, that's
And
right.
great floor guy. And he does the same thing. He for everybody that he does a floor for, they plant a tree. So I think that's a fantastic idea. He's doing some smoking good work there, by the way. He's bought one of those really cool CNC routers. Making his own. I mean, he's doing some really cool work. But anyhow, I think that's really smart that he does that. Yeah. So Arbor Floors, and he does a great
Arbor Zen.
Arbor Zen hardwood floors. That's Grayson Deal. We had him on our show.
He
So
was on the show. Yes.
yeah, bluegrass player out of North Carolina. So that's a good one. Give me another one.
I don't know if I agree with this one. I don't know. Because I'm not crazy about when I get it. But you stay at a hotel or something, they say, hey, will you do me a favor and fill out this survey? Sometimes I only fill them out if I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Or I will fill them out sometimes if they've been over the top great, if you remember somebody or something. So I don't know. But this one, they're saying, ask for feedback, send your customer questionnaire. How'd we do? What you like, what you didn't like, that kind of thing. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, hold on a minute. So when you and I were doing floors, reviews weren't really the thing that they are now. People need the likes and the reviews for their websites.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think it's more relevant than it has been in the past. And so I can totally see that. And here's the thing. Most people I think, are pretty kind-hearted. And if I'm ever asked to do a review of somebody, I got to be really mad. I mean, super, super mad not to give a really good 5-star review for any service I ever use. Matter of fact, I'm still mad at Uber, the car people. I didn't realize they rate you too. What kind of business that rates their customers like that? I was like using it for like 3 years before they started. I found out they rate you like you rate them. I've always given everybody no. I give everybody a 5-star review except one guy, and that one guy gave a 1. Everybody else I gave a 5-star review, and I always tip very, very generously.
So what's your Uber rating?
It's like a 4.87 or something like that. I was shocked.
Somebody, that guy that you gave a bad one, he probably gave a bad one to you.
Maybe.
What?
I don't think.
Let's find out about this bad ride?
Okay, it was in Denver, Colorado, by the way.
Okay.
This dude was telling me how he scammed the system. Like he was scamming the government for welfare. He was scamming this and all. Just the whole thing was how you scam people. And he wouldn't shut up talking. And I wasn't in the mood to talk. I don't.
Yeah,
So
there's a
yeah,
reason that there's no backseat to the boat. Right. You're not in
yes,
the mood to talk.
I talk all
Just
day.
just get me to where I need to go. Yeah.
Yes. So, but everybody else, I think, bar none, got a. But when I found out that they have the nerve to rate me, I was like horrified. So then I had to find out what my rating was, and when I did found out it wasn't a perfect 5, then I started being even more nicer on them. They're even nicer when I'm talking to the people. I'm tipping more, and so yeah. But so I think it's actually I get that one. I can understand why people would do that,
Okay.
and I think people do. I think people are pretty generous. I think overall when they're giving a rating. So who knows?
How bad is the Uber guy that that you're not giving a 5-star to every time? He's just picking you up and driving you someplace, right? I mean,
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't have too much cologne on, we're
look,
good.
Uber guys can screw up too. Uber guys can have their share of issues as well. But I just overlook it. It's just a ride, whatever. I overlook it. But believe me, there's some Uber rides I had that weren't great. Lyft, I would say the same thing about Lyft. So I'm not picking one over the other.
Okay.
I know.
Also says to help them get started with that survey.
What do you mean help them get started with the survey?
I don't know. Let me read into that one. Oh, it's once you send them that, they want you to give them a call and help them use that. Oh, no. What they're saying is when you send them the survey, the way to call them is to help them get started. Like in our situation would be help them get started on how to maintain their floor.
Yes.
But hopefully we've already done that. Maybe we do it twice.
Yeah, I think you do it at the beginning and the end. And you definitely, I will say this though, we used to give people coasters for the furnitures. That was when we got done with the job, I gave everybody really nice coasters for their furniture. And I built it into the cost of the job. And I did that because I didn't want to come back over a scratch complaint or something like that. So it was easier for us to do that. Customers appreciated it.
Provide a special offer.
In 2023, 2022, there are no special offers. Your special offer is I'm here. And I got product. And I got manpower. That's a special offer.
Okay. No providing special offers. Share additional features. See, some of these aren't going to really. What additional feature can we give them when we're doing floors?
Well, I don't believe in that one because if you did your job right, you would have done that up front. You know what I mean? I don't want to come off and say, oh, and by the way, there's this. I mean, you need to get that up front, I think.
Send them a referral. This one I don't get. Are you reading this? Another follow-up method offers your customer practical help to send them a referral for a potential customer.
I feel like I have to read them now because another follow-up method is send them a referral for a potential customer who might benefit from your client's business. It's polite to let the potential customer know ahead of time. No, I don't want to bug either party of that. No.
Yeah, cancel that
one. Here's the other thing too. I don't want to be throwing out people. I don't refer a lot of people. I think I'd be pretty damn good if I'm going to refer somebody because I don't want that to reflect on me if they didn't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, but I think they're almost talking like if you owned a store and you did some work for the store and then you were sending people to that store.
Okay.
I think that's what they're driving at there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, you know something I do think I think is very cool. I don't see people doing it much anymore, but in this day and age, I think it would be very cool to do. And I've always wanted to participate in this, but it's never come up. There's when everybody gets together, let's say you own a bookstore, or let's say you own a bakery downtown, right? and there's a term for it. It skips my memory now, but where everybody just comes down and just everybody meets down there and buys out everything they got. You know what I mean? Like everybody shows up and buys something from the store. You understand what I'm saying?
Never heard of it.
So what is a cash mob?
Flash mob, cash mob. Okay.
It encourages members of the community to make it. Okay. To help support local business. Members typically spend $20 at business being mobbed, in quotes. Not only are cash mobs helpful to local businesses and blah, 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 they're also creating fun involvement in the community. So I think that's something like that would be pretty cool.
Cash mob.
Yeah.
Cash mobs. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a way to support the local place.
All right. Here's another one. Commemorate occasions. This is perfect for floor guys. Hey, it's been a year.
Yes.
Let's do a deep cleaning.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? This is our 6th year. Let's see if we need a recoat.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, that is very germane to our industry for sure. That is, like you mentioned, out of all the ones you said, some nonsense. There's 2 that really registers. One, it helps drive sales, right? That makes sense.
Right.
2 is this one right here, where we talk a lot about this, about, sitting out, look, it's been a year now. Let me come in and deep clean your floors. It's been, holidays are coming up. Easter's coming up. Spring is coming up. We can come in there and do a recoat or clean the floors. And that's a great way to stay in touch with your customers. And at that point, I think it's okay to ask for it. Listen, we love referrals. So if you have a friend or family that's looking to have work done, blah, 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 I think that would fit into my personality. I would do that.
I think though, by then, you know what I mean? If you're back in that house doing a deep clean, you sanded the floor, 2-3 years you've gone in, done the deep cleaning. Like I said, a million times before, you're now the guy. I got a guy. Somebody's talking about having their floors done, use my guy.
But you can never take it for granted. I was talking to a real estate lady at Easter, and she's told me horror stories where she thought she was the guy. And all of a sudden,
oh, really?
Yes, they're a good customer that they put all this time into, go to buy the next house, and they use a competitor. So, you really, that's a great argument for really staying in touch with people and what have you, but you can get your heart broke.
So why, what was the reason? Did she have a reason?
No, one of them just, actually one of them, their husband did work for the person as a contract. So you can understand that one. One of them just got a better price, better deal. So they went with the other person. So, yeah. All right. What else you got?
Comments online. And I know Bum used to do this with his customers. He had something, I think it was an app maybe, or whatever, called Neighborhood. And he would send them a text and they would fill out the text and then went right to this online type of referral type thing.
Isn't it?
It might be scary to me. I
was going to say, it's a dangerous two-way street with social media.
Yeah.
You could get a person that really not a very nice person, whatever, that could really just do a number on you just because they're having a bad day or what have you. So, yeah.
Another way to follow up, ask them if they need any help. I don't know if I'm going to do that one either. Yes, I do. I'm got to put that piano back in. When can you come over? Yeah, we're putting the grandfather clock back in. What time can you be here?
Do they need any help?
Do they need any help? Remember, we're just trying to get back in the door.
Yeah, I'm not asking anybody if they need any help.
No way, not on that one.
You got me though. You got me on the ones that I don't have to buy into all 12 of these, but I bought into the ones that matter to me.
That's the beauty of what we do. We don't have to buy into all this. A lot of this stuff, it's not 100% geared toward floor guys, but there are some nuggets. There are some definite nuggets. And here's one that I don't feel is a nugget. Hey, we're just checking in. Really? I got enough freaking people checking in with me
Yeah.
I don't need you checking in. Okay.
Yeah.
That one there, I don't think I'm going to go with that one, checking in.
No, I agree. I agree. In fact, that would be kind of maybe make a nuisance of yourself. But here's one that's not on here, but I do think, well, checking in may make sense here. We're going from summer into winter, or fall into winter, right? And what's going to happen with the floors? You're going to turn the heat on. The floors are going to start shrinking because we're taking the humidity out of the air. So that might be checking in. That would be where I would
Okay,
check
so
in.
you just do this just to make me look bad sometimes, don't you? Well, it's not that hard.
What's the matter?
You're right. No,
Well, you brought
you
it up
just
to
sold me on that. You're right.
well,
Hey, winter's here. Summer's, yep, definitely. Yep. All
But-
right.
so it was it was teamwork. I would not have thought of it if you not brought it up. So,
No, you wouldn't have thought of it if I said I don't agree with that one. Now you're like
oh, I
point
see.
counterpoint. Yes.
Okay,
I gotta, yeah,
All right.
point counterpoint. Did you ever watch that Saturday Night Live?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
God, that was so funny.
Back when it was a funny show. Yeah.
Back when they did comedy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Point counterpoint. I know we said this before on that too. I have no idea half of the time who the people are on the show. I mean, the guest hosts and the music. And I know
No.
you've mocked me because I don't stay up on new music as like you're so cutting edge. But
I don't know if I mock you. Well, maybe a little bit.
oh, you mocked me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
You're definitely turning into the mean one. That's
I
all right, because I was
My-
a mean one for the start of the show.
you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I don't have kids, and as I pointed out, I don't have any friends. So I'm not aware of it until like I see Bum. And then when I was talking to Bum, part of me thought, if he listens to the show, he might think I'm giving his dad a hard time. You know what I mean? Like, if I went to a family reunion at your house, I got feeling like it'd be like the climate in the room would be like cold. Like, yeah, pass the potatoes. Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no.
Uh,
Maybe
If the whole family was there, come on.
maybe in some different homes that could be the case. Okay.
What if, yeah.
But not my family. And I'm not talking about anybody else's family. I'm talking about my family.
Mhm.
Okay. They would live to have you here. They
Even-
love that kind of stuff.
Even
I
Claire.
told you I'm a show off, right?
Yeah.
I'm the guy who gets up when he's golfing. There's a ton of people around. So my kids know that. So they love when people, and they love doing it themselves. They love taking me down a notch or two
Okay.
or three
All
or
right.
four.
Okay.
So you are a dream for them.
Okay. Because I felt like if I showed up, at a family function or whatever, and I think everybody would be like, yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, so you didn't know if Bum was going to punch you or hug you? No, he's going to
what-
hug you.
There was a little bit of part of me that was thinking, I wonder if he thinks this guy is not being nice to my dad sometimes.
God.
He's a big boy, man. He's a big dude.
He's yeah.
Yeah. He's a bruiser. Okay.
He is a bruiser.
Yeah.
He definitely is a bruiser. He was a really good hockey player.
I can see
Not
that.
a flashy guy hockey player. He was my stay at home and protect the goalie, keep everything clean in the center
Yeah.
there. That was his thing.
I can see it.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of sports, do you know that they dropped or they didn't drop it? They added it. The National League now does DH.
Designated hitters.
Yeah.
Um,
When did that just
What-
started this year?
what I know about baseball, you can put in a thimble. My baseball career ended at the Hope Hustlers.
I could tell you were very happy with yourself when you knew what DH stood for.
I was, yeah.
I could see a little gleam in your eye, like, oh, that's the designated hitter.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about baseball. I love playing it, but I'm not a huge baseball guy.
You know what the designated hitter is, right?
Yeah, of course.
What is it?
It's the guy. Let's say you're playing third base, but you can't bat worth a darn. And they said, all right, you're not going to bat. The designated hitter is going to come in and bat for this guy.
All right. Well,
Right? And the
you-
designated
you-
hitter probably doesn't play a position. He's just a hitter.
okay. Or you're going to get a lot of baseball stuff on you. They don't let the
Really?
pitchers hit. A designated hitter hits in place of the pitcher. Now, you could let the pitcher hit
Some
and the
pitchers hit.
third baseman, like you're saying, but 99.999% of the time, the DH is up there hitting for the pitcher. Pitchers don't hit.
Only for the pitcher.
Oh, it's not the rule, but that's what they do. Pitchers don't hit.
Okay, I get that. They're too valuable.
Okay.
Probably that's not their thing.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
But it's always been some of the best arguments I could have with some of my buddies who were ball. I'm an American League guy. We've always had pitchers not hit. We
Mhm.
use the DH. And Pete, my partner, he's a National League guy. So he was always against the DH.
Mhm.
And I said, now there's just going to be silence. I mean, there's some of the funniest, best arguments in the world were just because of having those two people on both sides of the fence. I'm just shocked that the DH is now in the National League.
I love.
I'm actually upset about it.
I
It
really.
upsets me.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of. Here's what I do know about baseball. There's a lot of baseball purists, and I love the history of baseball. I love that there's no time frame. It's just 9 innings, and however long it goes until there's overtime or extra innings or whatever it's called. But I've probably been in more ballparks than
That
most people
thimble's
that are
getting smaller,
smaller.
smaller and smaller.
I've probably been in more iconic ballparks than most people that are massive fans, just because I have friends that are huge baseball guys, and I'll go whatever. But yeah, I'm not really.
Did you ever hear George Carlin's routine on baseball and football?
No.
All right. I'm not going to do it. If anybody hasn't heard it, it doesn't matter if you're a George Carlin fan or not a George Carlin fan. I want you to Google his or YouTube or whatever, his sketch on football and baseball. It is hysterical.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'll look it up.
George
too.
Carlin is, right? You know, Carlin's
of
kind of
course, yeah,
comedy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Well, what he does with football and baseball, everybody listening, please Google it. You're going to thank me later because it is hysterical. And the other thing about it, it is so spot on funny too.
Do you know he has a brother?
No.
Oh my God. You talk about World War III. He would sometimes go on or book himself as his brother, being the wrong guy. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
Yeah. And I think there was like a World War III between the two of them, and I think they sued each other back and forth and everything. I think I'm right about this. Yeah, George Carlin, and I know I'm right about this. I have to Google it, but he was a comedy writer. His older brother Patrick, and so he would do his routine. You know what I mean? Book himself like he was him. You know the band Steppenwolf, by the way?
Yes.
All right. Steppenwolf, this is back in the days when they had album covers and what have you, way back in the 60s and 70s. And they had some monster hits. The guitar player was a 16-year-old phenom. But there was like 6 or 7 bands around the country touring, calling themselves Steppenwolf, playing that same music. Like, you know what I mean? So they didn't know what they looked like. So
You're
people would
kidding.
no.
So
people would,
we're Steppenwolf.
yeah. And they would go play a venue and everybody think, well, this is Steppenwolf.
I saw Steppenwolf last night. Yeah, so did
Yeah.
I.
So anyhow, okay, we're getting a little bit off track. You got any other reasons why we should stay in touch with our customers?
The one that we can't really do because you're going to take the seat out of your boat. Invite them to an event.
Yeah, like I say, only if it was something, through the industry or what have you. Other than that, I don't think there's any reason to do that.
Here's another one that I'm definitely not going to do. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell people not to do it. Send articles or videos to your customer.
Again,
There
If
we
it-
go.
if it had to do with floor shrinking in the winter, or different seasonal changes, or getting your floors recoated, I think that's actually a good one. Sorry, Rob.
I got this off of Indeed. What I've heard of
Well-
Indeed. What is Indeed?
I have no idea what it is. You said you were going to do this thing on keep in touch with the customers. And you
I
said,
was reading the article on Indeed and I go, oh, that seems like a pretty good article. I like some of the stuff in there.
halfway through it, you said, I don't know if this has anything to do with hardwood floors on half of them. So
Well, some of
No.
them I think, well,
I agree. Some of them were very good. And like you said, we don't have to buy into all of them. Some of them were very, very good.
and you and I have done articles. We've dissected articles like this before. Said, that's
Yeah.
not for us. And
Yeah, and I agree that I was probably a fault of mine too. I felt like, we did our job and we moved on to the next one. I didn't stay in touch. If they knew how to get a hold of me, certainly if there's a problem, I mean, it only takes one phone call to get me back. And by the way,
it's like I tell everybody in the classes, if you can take a couple of good things away from a class,
yeah,
it's going to help you make money.
yeah.
There you go.
On the
From
flip
this show,
Mhm.
I think we gave you a really good way to make easy money.
What do you
Just do a
apologize?
little bit of follow up.
You apologizing now for the content to the customer for our audience? Look, we gave you something. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't-
what do you want? We've said it
Yeah.
before. They all can't be grand slams, right?
Well,
Do you know what a grand slam is?
yes, I do.
Oh,
Come
good.
on. What? I'm not an idiot.
The
But
thimble.
I will say
thimble.
this. Yes, I will say this. By a landslide, if you have a customer that has a problem, the absolute worst thing you can do is not answer that phone and not get on it right away and procrastinate.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That is a death sentence. So no matter how hard it is to bite the bullet, no matter how hard it is to listen to somebody vent and whatever, that the worst possible thing in this industry you can do. And there's a reason why a lot of guys go straight to an inspector, because there was no communication, is avoid that phone call. So there you go.
One of
All
the
right.
best, you and I in our day, wow, that sounds so old to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, that was sad. You brought
But
me in with you.
we used to do, Peter and I used to keep testimonials. We kept testimonials and we kept names of people that we had done that said we could use them as references. So the list started to get pretty big. So after a while, we'd be doing an estimate or whatever, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, I know this guy," or "I work with him," or whatever. But one our best testimonial came from a problem. We had an issue on a job.
Mhm.
The guy called me up one day and he goes, "Geez, Rob, it was like the next day or the day after." He goes, "Something just doesn't look right on the floor." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll be right over." And literally went right over. He lived in the same town I lived in. Went right over there, and I was like, "Wow, this is." I had tried a new polyurethane, and didn't feather good enough. I mean, I was really embarrassed, and I was like, and I didn't. And what I wanted to say was, "Geez, I tried a new polyurethane," and I didn't go there. I said, "You're right. This is terrible. We'll take care of it." I go, "Can we get back in here this afternoon or tomorrow?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." And went back in there, nailed it and everything. Never asked him for a testimonial or anything. He sent us a testimonial, and it was all about, hey, we know things aren't perfect. Things go wrong sometimes. And man, these guys came back, and he even said that to me when he gave me the testimonial. He's like, "Oh, my wife and I were a little, skeptical, wondering how we're going to fight it out with you, or, how you were going to take it." And I was like, wow. But the testimonial that he wrote turned out to be one of our best testimonials, and it was on screwing a job up. So yeah, you don't want to pick the phone up, but there's some good people out there too.
And turned it into an opportunity.
You got it, brother.
Right on. Okay, Rob. Well, thank you very
Before
much.
you end the show,
Yeah.
to all the baseball fans out there, I just want to say this, okay? I don't know how I came off. I was never for or against the DH. I just liked that it was there. One league had it, one league didn't. I thought that was one of the cool parts about baseball.
All right.
And they
Real
took
quick.
that away.
I know we're getting to the end of this here, so I don't want to drag this on anymore than I have to. Who's your all-time favorite baseball player?
Kari Stremski.
Okay. Yeah, the famous Australian. Okay, folks.
Kari Stremski.
All right. Do you know I got a cousin? Forget it. All right. Just been
That's another episode.
So, yeah. Go. You do the closing this time.
I have never done a closing.
Yeah. You know what? You know we're talking about baseball. You be the closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening. That's another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Stay tuned for our next episode. Boom!
Perfect.
Oh yeah!
That sounded better than I do.
Ho, 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 ho.